The VA tells us that roughly 22 vets commit suicide every day, one every 65 minutes. There are suicide hotlines, wringing of hands, and of course the ever-present thoughts and prayers of politicians who refuse to do anything about the problem. Let's agree that almost none of the veteran suicides would occur had those vets not gone to war and been carrying those horrific memories and terrible injuries. We drug them, talk therapy them, buddy them, and use other means to help them carry on. But those are all swatting at symptoms. If we really want to prevent veteran suicides, the solution is forehead-slappingly obvious. Don't send them to fight meaningless, unwinnable wars. Neither Iraq nor Afghanistan ever attacked the United States, nor did they pose an existential threat. We started wars against them based on lies. Even our vets know that neither of the wars in Iraq, Afghanistan, nor even Syria were worth fighting. Sadly, Colin Powell was correct in invoking the Pottery Barn rule about invasion of countries. You break it, you own it. We've owned these for 17 years. And our military people continue to be brutalized because of that, and the suicides go on. Recognize, too, that the millions of Muslim migrants who have fled to European countries did so for survival, escaping life-threatening conditions caused by the destabilizing of the region. We did that. Europeans now struggle with the vexing symptoms of a deluge of migrants. Keep all of that top of mind as Donald Trump bumbles with Iran. Fix the root cause and we won't have to swat at symptoms. We went to a wonderful outdoor summer concert featuring a Chicago cover band. It was held in a town with a large Hispanic population. Families were picnicking, friends were talking, and children were playing. Front and center near the stage, kids were turning cartwheels, dancing and running around. Hispanic kids. They were doing exactly the same things that white kids, Asian American kids, African American kids, all kids do. And it was unmistakable that those Hispanic kids were just like the kids we've locked up in our horrid detention facilities, recently labeled concentration camps. They certainly are concentrated to the point of inability of the people to even lie down to sleep. There are thousands of Hispanic children in these detention camps in Texas and Florida. They're being held in prisons in Illinois, Wisconsin, and elsewhere. I don't know these kids personally, but I'm betting they'd rather be at a summer concert turning cartwheels. You've seen the reports, so you know that those places are grossly overcrowded, sanitation is terrible, sickness is spreading, and reports of abuse continue. Beyond the insanity of locking up blameless kids, we can't even manage to follow our own rules like the 72-hour maximum detention rule. We can come up with lots of programs to deal with the influx of migrants. Trump decided to focus efforts solely on the cruelty of terrorizing children, locking up moms, bogging down the asylum process, sending our military to the border, bullying Mexico, and threatening families in the U.S. with surprise deportation. As horrific as all of Trump's cruelty is, fighting it is more swatting at symptoms. The vast majority of migrants are leaving Central America because of wars, gang violence, and lack of food in their countries. They are seeking asylum, refugee status in the U.S. in order to keep themselves and their families alive and safe. Absent those threats in their home countries, they'd stay there, and we wouldn't have the migrant crisis we've created. The way to deal with the root cause is obvious. Support those Central American countries to stop the violence and ensure that their people have food to eat. Oddly, Trump has cut support designed to do those very things, making far worse the problems we say we want to solve. Yes, it will cost money. So does the migrant crisis that we forced into being. Fix the root cause, and we won't have to swat at symptoms. Donald Trump doesn't care about the harm he does to black and brown-skinned people, especially if they're refugees on our southern border. This is in stark contrast to his treatment of the undocumented 579,000 Europeans in the U.S. illegally, about whom he says and does nothing. Apparently, the immigration crisis isn't about being undocumented, it's about being non-white. He demonstrates nearly daily that he is a racist, the most recent example being his vile attacks on 4 freshman congresswomen. He rejects Muslims and is especially adept at demeaning women, especially powerful women. He harms people and just doesn't care. We all know that. So whatever the next outrage from this Presidentus Horribilis, just get over it. Stop the insanity of hoping this time things will be different, the battered wife fantasy. It won't be different. It will never be different. Trump is mentally damaged goods. He is incapable of caring about anything beyond what he perceives will best serve himself. Get over obsessing over his abhorrent behavior. And get over obsessing about spineless Republican legislators who don't have the moral courage to call out Trump for his pathological cruelty. Fix the root cause, and we won't have to swat at symptoms. There's more in the footnotes to the written post. I urge you to take a look. Meanwhile, I'm Jack Altucher.